everyone. Welcome to our first episode of Superhero Deep Dive. I am your host, Jason, and I am proud to be part of the Talk Nerdy to Me network. Um, just a quick disclaimer before we get started and before we get into this. I want to put out that these sources that I'm getting are pulled from different areas across the internet. They may or may not be completely complete. If I miss something, don't get too upset. But they do give a really good insight on the current superhero or person that we're talking about. Hopefully, you'll get something that you didn't know before. I hope you find it entertaining. And yeah, let's get into it. Um, what I wanted to do when I started Superhero Deep Dive was just pull random superheroes that I saw or that I may have thought about. They could be any kind of inspiration, you know, random themes of a month. I don't know, just anything really. If I saw a really cool cosplay, I may want to do a deep dive into a certain hero that they cosplayed as. If I saw a random character from a movie, you know, anything really. But what we're going to do is we're going to actually do deep dives into certain heroes, and it's going to be pretty random. Um, give their name, their history, their power sets, any relationships they may or may not have been in, fun facts or tidbits about the heroes, and then ways that we could have possibly expanded those heroes. Because superheroes always have a rich history, and sometimes the writing just isn't there, but where could they have gone? Where could their powers have taken them? So I want to delve into that, and I thought it'd be a lot of fun. So because this is the first one of the year, this is our first episode ever, and 2020 was not the best year for a lot of people, I thought we should do Hindsight or Hindsight Lad, because after all, hindsight is 2020, and we should be glad that it's all over. So, yeah, let's get into it. If you didn't know, Hindsight Lad was introduced in the New Warriors comic book series. So, that's where he came from. His real name is actually Carlton Lafroige, and I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. I don't think he'd be upset because he's a fictional character anyway, but if anyone does have the last name Lafroige, I'm hoping I'm pronouncing it correctly. Um, so, so check this out. Like, this guy moves into the same building as the superhero Speedball lives in, and we'll delve into Speedball at some point or another because he's always been one of my favorite heroes. So he'll get covered somewhere down the road. But he moves into the same building as this guy, and figures out that one of the people that he lives in the same building with is Speedball. He figures out Speedball's super identity. It could have been anything, really. I don't ever remember anything specific as far as how he figured it out. He could have maybe seen Speedball go out a window. He could have seen him just around the area, and kind of deduced it. I mean, it could have been anything. If you know, let me know. I'll drop a Twitter handle and stuff at the end. But, yeah, so he figures out Speedball's identity, and he's like, "Oh man, I've got to exploit this," because he's kind of a douche, and he makes himself a costume. He's got like a red cape and a football helmet, and on the football helmet, he has like car side view mirrors, but not like the kind you're used to seeing, but like the old school kind where it looks like the metal wire kind of hanging out with the window or with the mirrors attached to the side. Like, because that's always cool, right? I mean, that's a good fashion choice. And the thing about it is he can't even see out those side mirrors. Like, they're just there. They're just decoration. So it's pretty lame. But he comes up with this and comes up with the name Hindsight Lad because he can fake like he's seeing behind him, I guess. I don't know. That's just whatever. He's not the greatest superhero, but he has just got so much fodder for making fun of. But after Speedball gets kidnapped by some gang, and I don't know much about the gang. It's not too important right now for the context because we're talking about Hindsight Lad, not Speedball. Hindsight Lad convinces the team leader, who's Night Thrasher of the New Warriors, to let him be part of the team unofficially. So he's just like, "Hey, dude, let me help out." Um, he didn't do a whole lot from there. Like he's just kind of a background character. Uh, just kind of helping here and there. And then we have Civil War happen, and if you're a comics fan, this isn't like in the movies where the Scarlet Witch destroys a war torn area of the country. Um, Civil War in the comics started where the New Warriors kind of like filmed a reality TV show, and they went and attacked some supervillains that were hiding out in a neighborhood, and they attacked this one guy who could literally blow himself up. Like that was his power. He'd blow himself up, and then he'd kind of form back together, and he could do it again. But they attacked him, and he blew up the town. So because they were kind of trying to be on TV and get ratings and stuff, this dude destroyed a town and everyone in it, and that triggered the events of Civil War. So so he wasn't a real big part of it, but after Civil War, he turned against his team because, after it was their actions that started. So Hindsight Lad turned against his team, and he doxed them all, which put them all in danger. So that kind of sucks because this is someone that, like they all started to trust, they all started to befriend, and he just goes and is like, by the way, this person is LMNOP, this person is QRS, this person is 123. They live here. Go and teach them a lesson. Do you have family that died in this town? Well, here they are. Look up their family. Like it's stuff like that. Like just a real douchey move. He was later caught for doing that and arrested. And he did his time, which I don't know how jail time in comic books works. I think it's a mystery to us all that's never been explored, and I don't. It's one of those things that I might be better not knowing about. But after he was released, he created a website that promoted conspiracy theories about current superheroes. So, like he wanted to name some people that he believed were part of the Illuminati, even though the Illuminati existed in the comics and they were totally separate people. Um, I mean, the dude's just he's just a real dick. Like what is there to like about him? He's a guy that just, he picks the worst kind of name, picks the worst kind of outfit. He goes and gets picked on, and just, I mean, I don't know. He's just a douche. I mean, he's just, what do you do with someone like that? But that's basically his history. Like he really hasn't been. I haven't found anything much after he started doing the conspiracy theories. It's kind of like that's what he does now. That's his home in life. So yeah, but what are his powers? Like let's get into who he is. Like what makes him Hindsight Lad? Nothing. Hindsight Lad didn't really have any special powers. He was a decent tactician, and he had some computer programming skills, which apparently that's taught in elementary school in the Marvel Universe. I mean, everyone can program stuff now. He wasn't a great fighter, but he could review like past encounters and see better ways to handle them. And that's where he got his hindsight persona. And if you can see me, I'm doing like the little air quotes with my fingers because it's just so lame. It's just so lame. Like, to me, this is one of those things where the creator of this, and I didn't look at who created him. I really don't care because, because characters, they're not made great. They're developed great. Um, but yeah, Hindsight could use those past encounters to help like current situations, and that's kind of what he specialized in. That's where he shined. It's just, it. I don't know. I mean, it's just kind of like, to me, it just seemed like he was a lazy character to start shit, and they really were like, okay, we're done with you. Like, I mean, it just seems like he was a throwaway character, and he probably was. Like, I mean, let's be honest, he probably was. Um, I tried to find out if he had any kind of relationships, and I couldn't find anything. He didn't really have any relationships listed. Basically, because he's a little prick of a person. I mean, it's just a loser character. I'm sorry, guys. I wish my first character that I did my superhero deep dive podcast in was better than Hindsight Lad. But man, the joke was there to do Hindsight Lad because hindsight is 2020, and if I didn't jump on that one, I'd feel like less of a person. So I tell you what, let's bear through this one, and we will do better superhero deep dives. I promise. But he didn't really have any real relationships. The only thing I could really find was there was a female character that he developed a friendship with. It didn't seem like it went any farther than that. But he developed a friendship with, and he helped her get her code name, which her name was Time Slip. So he helped her guess like, hey, your powers are this. We should call you Time Slip. Oh yeah, sounds good. Let's roll with that. And that was basically his relationship contribution. I mean, there was it. Fun facts about him. Because he's such a throwaway kind of character, there aren't many. But apparently he had freckles. Like I said, his side mirrors on his helmet did not allow him to see behind him. They were just decoration. He did need glasses and contacts, so his eyesight was always kind of a weakness for him. But would you expect anything less, really? I mean, really, really. Um, I did find out, and this is funny, that someone took the time to make a Minecraft skin for Hindsight Lad. And if you go to planetminecraft.com, and I'm not endorsing them, or I know nothing about Minecraft, except for what my kids did, what my kids play and stuff like that. But I saw that there was a Hindsight Lad skin on Minecraft, so I thought that was kind of hilarious. Have at it, planetminecraft.com. I'm not sponsored by them. I really don't care. But I just thought it was funny nonetheless. And that's really all the fun facts about him. Like, he's just such a throwaway character. I feel like this episode, I wanted these episodes to be about 30 minutes in length, and this one's going to be about 15 because he's just that much of a throwaway character. But this is a good intro for everyone. I was thinking about power expansions. And with him, looking at past battles and kind of studying things like that to find people's weaknesses, he was able to deduce Speedball's identity, which may or may not have been super difficult. I honestly don't know. But with his skill set, I think that he could have been put in some kind of background position instead of being like a conspiracy theorist. He could have been a trainer for heroes. He could review old battles, teach battle tactics to newer heroes, write up dossiers for enemies to help for future battles. Kind of like what Batman does in his off time, if that's what you ever want to call it. And he does studies on villains, so he knows how to beat them. He knows where to attack, so the battles are as efficient as possible. He gets the wins. He could have been that kind of character. He could have been the Batman brains, because he damn sure wasn't the Batman brawn, but he could have been the Batman brains. And instead of writing him to be like a nut job conspiracy theorist, he could have been one of the most influential members of the next generation of heroes. Like, if you think about it, I know at one point, and please forgive me, I grew up reading comic books. Superheroes were my life for such a long period of time. In the past 10 years or so, I've dropped out of comic books. It's just growing up in life, getting too busy to keep up with it all. But I still love the superhero mythos, and I feel that Marvel dropped the ball on this. Um, they're like, let's just make him. I mean, he's always been a throwaway character, but he could be so much more. He could be that guy. Like we had Avengers Academy at one point. We had like the new X Men series at the time that were doing like they had the Hellions, they had the New Mutants, like another generation of New Mutants, Xavier Academy, I believe it was. They had all these like where it was the next generation of mutants they were coming up. He could have helped them, even though he's not a mutant. He could have done all the stuff to help them. So whenever they fight against another supervillain, they know exactly how to handle it, and they're prepared. So we have less loss of life. We have greater success rates. We have more efficient superheroes, so less collateral damage. We have all these things that could be expanded on with his help, and he could have actually been put in um, some kind of usefulness with that, but he's not. He's just not a useful character anymore, and it's kind of a pity because the most fun thing I have about superheroes, the thing I like the most, is their potential. Um, but yeah, but that's what I got. I want to know what you guys think of Hindsight Lad. If there were any superheroes, or and I'm using superheroes as a generic term. Male or female doesn't matter. What are other heroes that you want to see covered? I would love to hear about it. I am on Twitter. It's B, the number 4, it's all one. Feel free to drop me a line there. You can catch us on the Talk Nerdy to Me network, and I'll be dropping new heroes every week, new deep dives, and let's have a lot of fun with this. Let's have interactions. I'd love to answer questions with it. If there's something you always wanted to know, we can do this. Let's make this show great. Let's make the show happen, and let's have fun with it. All right, you guys. I hope everyone has a great New Year. Stay happy. Stay healthy. Let's do this right, because we really can't have a repeat of last year. All right, man. Everyone, take it easy. Bye.